Hello everyone, this is James Houck, Dr. Houck, your professor for your online course this fall. I'm making this one video for students in both of my online courses, Religions of the World and Ethnomedicine, since both courses are set up in a very, very similar fashion, and virtually all of the requirements and rules and do's and don'ts, etc., apply to both of them. So I'm just trying to save a little bit of time by making one video. There's a number of introductory videos and introductory materials that you certainly need to go through that are posted on the Moodle site for the course. This is just something that's a bit more informal. It's just me sort of taking a little bit of time, a couple of days before the course starts, just to tell you a few things in a somewhat informal way regarding how you might be successful in the course and some things you should look out for. I have a list of things covered here. Of course, if there's anything you have a question about that I don't cover, just click on the Ask Questions Here link. Please use that, and I will answer the questions probably within a day after they're posted. Alright, so let me run down my list here. The general tone of the course, that's my first note to myself here. This course and both of these courses are anthropology courses. Anthropology is naturally and necessarily critical. So we will study religions, for example, or medicine, or whatever it may be, from a data-based, universal, culture-relativistic, empirical point of view. Thus, if you have any personal opinions, like, for example, if we're talking about exorcism, as we do in ethnomedicine, there will be very few instances where your personal beliefs will be relevant to anything we're doing in the class. That's because, generally speaking, when you speak of personal beliefs or personal opinions, you're just pretty much telling you what religion you belong to, where you were born, how you were taught. And those things, frankly, aren't relevant when it comes to a data-based, empirical exploration of any topic. And I'm sure you can understand that. There are, after all, 10,500 religions in the world. And I would say the same thing regarding my religions course, where questions come up regarding certain aspects of religion. Once again, your personal opinion is not going to be really pertinent in most cases, especially if it just comes down to, well, I'm a Hindu and blah, blah, blah. We believe that's just not going to help us very much in this course. Now remember, this is anthropology. Now, you're going to get more of this in the introductory materials, but please keep that in mind as we go through the course. Alright, some frequently asked questions come up each semester, and I thought I would address some of these. First, you may have noticed by now, if you've looked over the materials, that there is, each module typically lasts 6 days, and all the materials for the module will open up on the very first day. In fact, as soon as the prior module closes, the next module opens. So all the materials stay open for 6 days. The questions for that module will be open for 3 full days. 3 full days. It may look like 2, like if it goes from November 24th to 26th, that's not 2. It's 3 because it's from basically, to 12:01 a.m. on the opening day all the way to 11:59 p.m. on the closing day. So 3 full days. And the reason why I do that is because it's very important to me that my students actually do watch all the videos, screen all the videos, screen all the documentaries, do all the readings, access all the materials. Because otherwise students and you know I'm right about this. I've been teaching a long time, and it seems pretty clear to me that students would simply ignore whatever's not strictly relevant to the question that they're having to answer, which means they'd be actually accessing about half the materials in the course. So anyway, so the questions will open up, will be open for 3 full days, which really, if you think about it, even in itself is plenty of time to do your work. Because remember, by that time, hopefully, if you're doing this the way it's planned, you'll have already screened all the videos and hopefully almost completed the readings, at least. So that's how you should proceed anyway, right? So I don't really think I'm doing anything that's out of the ordinary. But as I said, the only people who might be upset are those who planned on skipping a lot of the videos and skipping a lot of the readings, and I'm sorry I can't accommodate you. That's not the way the course is set up. Okay? There is a set standard length for the written assignments. It's slightly different for both of the courses, so please consult the grading rubric. There is what's called a minimum standard, a barest minimum standard for writing length. That means all things considered, all things being equal, I should say, a paper that equals the length of what I call the barest minimum standard will be somewhere in the C range, give or take, depending on lots of other variables. And then, of course, there's a length requirement for, quote-unquote, the superior papers. All of that is laid out in the grading rubrics. The point here is not to have the student do a bunch of busy work. I'm not going to waste your time like that. I know you guys are busy with jobs and children and spouses, etc. What's happening here is that given the content of the modules and given the topics addressed in the questions, it will take at least that many pages, whatever it is, depending on the course, to adequately address the issues that are raised in the question. So, in other words, what I'm saying is that if you bring all the materials to bear on the question and you give me a thoughtful response, you won't have any trouble at all meeting the length requirements. Because in virtually every case where people are coming up short on the length requirements, then that means they've left something out. Okay, also grammar. Grammar is important. Students often they often ask, why is it that I grade grammar so closely? Well, for one primary reason, grammar affects comprehension. So if a paper is poorly written, it is often difficult for me to figure out exactly what the student is saying. And of course, I can't hardly grade a student's paper if I can't understand what it is they're trying to tell me. So a lot of grammar affects reading comprehension. Not all of it, but a lot of it does. It's also included, by the way, in the grading rubric as one of the variables. This is a junior level course. The papers are the written assignments are supposed to be academic and formal. So yes, I think it's appropriate for me to grade your grammar. So please be very careful about the obvious things. Verb subject agreement, awkward phrasing, whether or not your tenses are consistent, etc., etc. So please be careful about those things. Now this course, something else you need to understand, this was initially a 16-week course, both of these courses. In fact, I taught both of these courses, Religions of the World and Ethnomedicine, as regular semester courses for years, and that's 16 weeks. I did that for years before they asked me to convert them to online courses. So, which means that I've taken 16 weeks of material and I've sort of crammed it down into 1/2 the time. So that's why you're doing twice the amount of work. Now, however, remember, it's in half the time. But please remember that when it seems as though that there's a lot of reading and so forth, please remember that you're doing twice the work. If this were a regular semester course, it'd be stretched out in double the time that you have. So please keep that in mind. And that's another reason why you should really stay on top of things. In fact, if it were me, I'd probably have a little calendar devoted just to this course, and I'd have the dates well marked. You know, what's coming up, when things are due. For example, you have a book review that pops up between modules 7 and 8. That you need to be working on in quote unquote in the meantime. You certainly can't wait to the last minute to write the book review. Number one, you have to read the book. That's for my Religions of the World course. For my ethnomedicine course, you have a paper you're going to be writing on a culture-bound syndrome. Same thing. Certainly you'll be working on that through the summer, and at the, when that window comes open, sometime during that week, you'll submit your paper. But certainly you need to be working ahead and thinking ahead and planning ahead on that. Same thing goes for your readings as well. In regard to the questions, there's a little guide on both Moodle sites regarding the best way to handle the questions, but I can tell you just simply specifically address the questions asked. Do not fill up space. I can see it from a mile away when people are just filling up space. Okay, so please address the questions asked and structure your answers along the lines that the question is structured. Okay, and that should help you a lot. And then finally, I will expect you to bring all your materials to bear on the questions. Okay, so if you skip a video and there's something important that I'm looking for, well then that's going to result in a point deduction. Okay? At this point, when you finish watching this video, I would advise you between now and Monday to totally read all of the, read and screen through all the introductory materials on the site for your course, so you can be totally prepared Monday and hit the ground running, because it starts fast and ends fast. And finally, if you see anything amiss, like for example there's a link that's not opening, or some date seems to be off, whatever, please notify me and I'll fix that as quick as I can. I have to update these every time a new section starts, and inevitably I will miss a date or two, or there might be a link that's no longer active or whatever. Please let me know as soon as something like that pops up. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped a little bit. Good luck in the course, and feel free to contact me if you need help regarding anything. Good luck.